saggy look from this German side. Is this quite zone? I'm not entirely sure. See how the point develops. De Kana on the far sideline with a beautiful lateral lead into De Waal. Van der Vega. Back to De Marais. Of course, many of these lads' opponents on the domestic scene back in Belgium. De Waal around to Jonkers. That big old wingspan being matched nicely by Bassoff. De Moulinade now. The Frisbee's man. Oh, the hammer fake from Jonkers. Of course, we know he's going to throw those every so often when he has them. Van der Vega now, trying to initiate Jonkers. Oh, big pop-off from the mark from Felix Martin. Smart stuff, but they cannot prevent the upline toe work. Is that De Marais?
Yes, so obviously no surprise. The score for Belgium. I like that fake from Benjamin Jonker because you never know if he's actually going to release it or not, because you've seen, if you watch some of the Belgian games or the Mooncatchers ones, you know he loves these throws, the upsides. He's really comfortable with these, and you see lots of upsides flying over the pitches when Mooncatchers or Belgium is playing. However, lately we've seen less of these, and I think these were directives given to the Mooncatchers, but also applying in the national teams, as we've seen in the U24 Belgium national team, but also for this elite division team. He will still release them sometimes, so you still need to be very alert for this, but it's less likely to happen, unfortunately. I love upsides.
Well, I think when you get yourself into a semi-final, it's not really an upside to best your opponent unless you do it with an absolutely inhuman score. Of course, the German Open team might be fired up by some of their other teammates' results, whether or not the frustration or victory. Sam Boyton-Müller now, though, on the far sideline, back centrally to Kay. Those two just playing a game of catch back and forth. Belgium squeezing and containing. Holger coming underneath, matched up with Dan de Marais. Doscher through to Holger. Back to Stefan. That one a little bit of a looser mark, opening up the inside backhand break for the lefty. Now it's Boyton-Müller through to Greenwald. Of course, delightful to have two of three Boyton-Müller brothers on this German O-line. Michael Boyton-Müller oftentimes hasn't actually been at the pitches here. He's been struggling with some illness during this tournament, as far as I know it. And there is actually a fourth Boyton-Müller brother who plays, he's the elder statesman of the Boyton-Müller family. He plays ultimate, but not quite at this elite level alongside his trio of other brothers. Oh, well, a turnover generated. A little chat between Gaten van den Broek and Phil Kay. See a contest hand signal from Gaten.
Not surprised either to see Gaten van den Broek get horizontal for the defenses. He lays out as we would jog, you know, it's something so natural to him. It's crazy to see, but on this one there might have been a bit too much contact.
Well, it is still contested by the looks of the hand signals, so there won't be any reset in the stall count. So back in the hands of Boyton-Müller. Goes instead for the around. Kay deciding, rather than trying to challenge the open side and get a bit of contact, he takes it to the break where he has much more room. But that one, was it good enough for Holger Boyton-Müller? Did he manage to toe that one in bounds? It's a racy shot from Phil Kay.
That's really close to the line. Ooh, he jumped.
That's really difficult. That back foot moves so quickly. We're going to need a frame by frame to figure this one out. No, that is quite clearly out of bounds. Just too much momentum. The power of Holger Boyton-Müller, meaning that one doesn't manage to fall in bounds.
That is the second break opportunity now for Belgium. Second time they managed to turn the disc over. Does that make sense? To turn over the disc.
I knew exactly what you meant, Charlotte.
Good.
Regardless of your energy is always very apparent as to the expression that you're making.
As long as you understand.
Oh, absolutely. But that's an understandable shot into the deep space for Demarais. Can they best him? A big pack of defenders around that number 10 shirt. Just a little moment for them to kind of just recenter, focus.
Immediately, players coming to watch the replay, waiting for the replay. While players are discussing it.
Well, in the Spirit Score comments, there have been moments where teams have actually complimented each other, saying, you know, that it's been really good to kind of be able to have the players use the video when appropriate on very close calls. So it is a Demarais sandwich. Yeah, big old Bosch. I mean, it was a sky ball. So, again, sometimes, Charlotte, we see oftentimes in games when one player has gone up with wonderful position on defense, their teammate not helping them by really closing in too closely, and that's what kind of ends up giving the disc back. But certainly that one will be contested. Return to the hands of Gaten van den Broek. And we'll have to see a different contest between Demarais and Holger in the air.
Yeah, we might have another chance to see a real air fight with no other defender coming to mess around and make a foul, generate a foul. So, I mean, we're only 4 points into the game. There's still much to see and can't wait for these matchups, big fights.
Well, hopefully not literal fights. Demarais coming underneath, has great acceleration, does that number 11 shot, and they race and get the break. Mathieu Muller with the goal for the Belgians and the fast counter response after the foul call, and the break train getting some steam early doors against the Germans.
I like that option of, instead of going back deep to try an air fight again, Demarais coming under to shoot himself to his teammate Muller, completely alone, no air fight needed. Simple catch. Simple again is not the right word, but
oh no, that was a
much
simple catch.
Easier than the previous one, for sure.
That was a simple catch. The run was the challenge there. Escaping his matchup absolutely, completely. Mathieu Muller, one of the other Moon lads on this side, of course, flying penguins initially, and used to play soccer like many of his teammates. Said that it was disappointing that people kept fighting and being too tussly, so he started playing Ultimate, where we have a bit more of a gentlemanly affair in this open division. Gentleman. So like chivalrous. You know, the respect amongst these athletes really is apparent, and certainly there have been a couple of teams that have had interesting moments of spirit, but certainly neither of these two teams have had that much spice in this European Championship. So Conrad Schlor streaking up line, replaced by Phil Kane. Schlor going to take up towards the deep space, a rocket going up, Landa de Kana on the chase, and it sails over both of them. A missed opportunity again in the end zone for the Germans. They have had one clean offensive hold in this game versus the two of Belgium, and the confidence is showing for the red and gold.
Great positioning, Landa de Crane putting himself in front of his player, being dragged with him, following the defender, and actually missing out the whole point.
Well, people talk about Robert de Crane, sometimes forget that his older brother is also very good at Ultimate too, but some fabulous defense being played against the big shot, but a foul call. Looks like Dante Simons saying he has too much touch on that rundown. I didn't quite catch the shirt number.
Very fast release from Landa de Crane, and we see Phil trying to have a bit on it, but being pushed by the German Stefan Döscher.
Yes, good eyes, Charlotte. Certainly the players on the sideline can interject an opinion once the players on the pitch have had a chance to discuss it themselves. Of course, most players will have the majority of their careers without videotape, without the benefit of any game advisors. But it looks like they've agreed that the turnover will stand, being tapped back in. And Phil Kay striding away from the disc.
That would have been another break.
Well, we don't
almost, I mean.
We don't want anyone to run away with the game too early, Charlotte. We want it to be neck
that would be impressive, but I want the tightest game possible. Get to Galaxy Point and Universe Point, please.
Dosha decides not to go for that racy big backhand, but he might be, just squeezes it through to Beutenmüller. The Germans literally playing with their heels on the line, which is weird to me because on the line is actually out of bounds, but I'm sure they caught inbound. They just decided not to get themselves the natural advantage you're allowed to by just scooting yourself back in pitch. Greenwald with a release to Kay, just about scoops it up from in front of the face of the defence. Those wall city connections, to say, so key for this O-line set. That one is going to escape though. Holger Beutenmüller having a bit of a soft day at the office. Needs his morning coffee before this meeting with the Belgians. So can the Belgians make anything out of this one? Van der Rust was going to work. Now found again on the far side. Inside shot up line. Zwarts. Of course, the last time these two teams met was back at the London Invite final. A couple of weeks ago, that was the Germans' only real preparation tournament outside of their training camps. They did indeed take that win.
And what a practice tournament. London Invite with all these national teams.
Indeed. But this is a different team for Belgium. The Germans, of course, had a pretty full fat side, with that being their preparation. But Schlor calling the pick on Landa de Kana, just allowing himself to catch up, and a little handshake between those two. I'm really enjoying the matchup. Hope you are too. Watching this one, get yourself into the live chat. Hit that subscribe button and tell us where you're tuning in from and who you are rooting for. Back in action, Landa de Kana with an action replay from De Rijk. And it's going to be a break again for the Belgians. 3 on the bounce to take charge. What is happening, Charlotte?
So early stage of the game, and Belgium are really on fire, while Germany seems to be struggling. We've seen how Belgium managed to get them stuck on the sideline, trapping them. Germany having no options rather than just keep playing on this very, very narrow window, so close to the sideline. As you were saying, Hannah, their toes literally on the line, stuck there. What a pressure from Belgium. Really fired up for these semis, I guess, because we talked with them in their interviews and talking about how at the beginning of the championship, they seemed to struggle a little bit to enter the games. You know, they were a bit down mentally, not so fired up, not giving 100% at the beginning of the games and have to catch up later. Well, right now, they are on fire from the first points.
Absolutely, they definitely ate their breakfast this morning. A timeout surely being called here by the German coaches. We will have a brief pause ourselves in the booth, but do not go anywhere, folks, as the Belgians 3 on the bounce to take the control in the early stages of this game, 4-2.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world
And
and beyond.
Reopening our stream with a look at our production booth, a little behind the scenes action there for you as this game starts to heat up. The live chat getting involved. Hello to tournament director Boris van der Look from Frisbees in the live chat. Great to have you alongside us there, and thank you for the compliments. The Germans on offense looking to try and keep their necks above the waterline. Gaffney through to Müller, to Kay. Players sort of trotting through rather than anything else, but Holger Beutenmüller just sitting in that anchoring position. He's had 2 errors in the end zone, but it's going to be Gaffney of Wall City, the Berlin man, clutching a hold as the Germans try and stop the momentum of Team Belgium.
That is definitely what Germany needed, a clean hold. Just to remember, that's how we do it. That's how we do it, guys. And I think that the timeout was exactly what they needed to remember that they are Team Germany, they are in semis, and no way they can let Belgium take those breaks so easily. They're gonna fight too. Let's see now if they also talked about their defense, if they have a plan to stop that Belgium flow.
Oh, they will 100% have a plan. The coaching staff for both of these sides, of course, a little bit more personnel-wise for the Germans, Henny Frede, and of course Stefan Doscher and Slor, Holger Beutenmüller and Nico Müller, all captains. But there's a big management affair here for the Deutschland sides. They have the big program, the Team D, as it were. Whereas, of course, I know I've been giggling about it all week too.
Yeah,
but on the Belgian side of things, of course, Pierre-Alain Delamine, every team he's coached this season so far have made it into finals. Not just Moon Catchers, but also Moon Cup at the Women's Championship back home. So clearly...
So we know the outcome of this game. I mean, it's obvious. If PA is coaching, then...
I'm not sure. I think the Germans will have something to say about that, Charlotte. But at the moment, the adjustments that the Belgians have made really making a difference so far. Molinare looking around for the reset, has it in the form of Aaron van der Vega. One of 2 van der Vega brothers on this side, of course, of Gentle Fame. Exploiting the face mark of Business Paul Perkins on the far sideline, having pulled some double duty from under 24s himself. Yonkers fakes and then throws a lusty flick into the backspace. A lefty catch for Dan de Marais, and he lays out afterwards with a huge momentum. Turns around, cool as a cucumber, throws the break for the goal.
He is not afraid of the preservation of greatness. After great action, he'd rather go for the dump and not rush things. Well, he doesn't need to wait and just puts that last pass in the end zone for the Belgian score. What a fast score. 7 passes, clean hold. Well, I don't know what Germans will do to stop that flow. These crazy bids. I mean, even with unprecise shots, they will just make it work.
Well, unprecise, but reeled in. Dan de Marais delivering as reliably as your local postman. Every day of the week, mate. Every day of the week.
I love that one, delivering as your postman.
He is everywhere. Big shout out to Mohammed tuning in from Iran in our live chat. He's a Belgian fan. And of course, if you're rooting for either side, feel free to make yourself known. Keep it cordial in the live chat though, folks. Both teams out here have defeated some titanic opponents to get to semi-finals. There's a slip on the underneath cut. Harvey Greenwald opening up his arms going, why are you not throwing me the Frisbee? Off your camera view. Now it's going to be Holger Beutenmüller attacking the deep space. But that one's got a lot of air underneath it. The Rick just about misses. Nearly ran out of room on the execution of the throw though. Holger dancing in front of the mark. Nico Müller just patient, great spacing from that number 33, of course, was so key as part of the World Games team. And bad skid through and through. The layout comes, but nowhere near blocking that one off. The Germans being pushed very hard in this match. Beutenmüller through to Doscher. Resetting. Just taking the patient opportunities. That one very high, but Samuel Beutenmüller, great presence of mind, just holds firm, and that will be an offensive hold for the Germans.
Very great positioning from Beutenmüller on that very floaty long shot. Derek almost had a hand on that one, but Beutenmüller much better positioned, did the job, and they do manage to swing apparently now. Bits of a loser defense. Loser, oh, that doesn't sound good. I mean more loose.
Loose defense.
Looser defense. I'm sorry, D-line, that's not what I wanted to say. Anyway.
Everyone is messing with your emotional state, Charlotte. How you're managing to commentate in a second language is beyond anyone's best guess.
Thank you, doing my best. But anyway, Germany managing to swing now. Great job. They are putting the intensity, increasing this intensity and energy that is well needed for semis if you want to have a chance to qualify for the finals, facing, well, whoever qualifies on the other pitch.
So the Belgians coming out with disc in hand. The German women on the hill behind with defensive chance. Of course, they've secured their place in the gold medal match tomorrow. Sorry, spoiler alert. Should have given you an alert, but hey-ho.
I was avoiding to talk about this. All this sound like, should I spoil or not?
Well, I mean, all of us pundits were proved very right when they played against the Czech women. I think most people were expecting that result, so it's not a big spoiler, because of course they've looked so good, but that's such a good defensive block for Conrad Schlor, besting de Marais. Can they grind one of these breaks back in the early stages? The German D-line, Schall. Not quite as world famous as Charlotte Schall, but he is definitely a key part of this D-line. So calm and present at the anchor, and Jonathan Meyer-Bortling getting the break back for the Germans. The mark nowhere near that big wide frame with the break from Schall.
What a vision from Schlor to get that block. He saw that one coming, stepped in to get that block, and a first break for Germany, tying back at 5-5.
But trailing that one break, the Germans with the natural advantage. They won the toss and chose to start on defense. Of course.
On off?
Sorry,
Germany
that's right.
defense.
You meant, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. See, I have moments too, Charlotte. It's fine. But a Jonathan connection, Jonathan to Jonathan, or Jonathan. Of course, Benji Rees extremely happy with himself, having started the chant that is now caught on for the number 6 who got that goal, Jonathan Meyer-Bortling. So you might hear that on our pitch mics at various points during this match. And of course, a wonderful athlete, so he's enjoying having a bit more of a lower responsibility role here rather than the under-24 World Championships a couple of weeks ago.
He already has the medal around his neck, bronze medal for the Open German U24 team, as well as his teammate pulling right now for Team Germany, Paul Herkens. Congrats to all of you. Now it's time to go get other medals on this EUC.
Absolutely. Well, if you've not watched the under-24s games back yet, then this is no spoiler because it's been ages. but obviously it was 2 medals in the Open and Women's Division that were the same colour. But the Belgians fighting to keep their lead in this game. They need that one break to prevent the trade-out loss. De Moulinaert coming in for that easy reset of score. I'm not enjoying how many of the Belgians are currently behind the disc. Speaking to their coach before. Van der Verge. The one for Yonkers. Steps around and throws a blade into the end zone. And of course that comes down. What a gorgeous ripper. Got to be Dekana. Yep, that 33 shirt. Iconic grabs on that back corner. So a hold for the Belgians with an aerial shot into the end zone.
Do you think he does it on purpose? Those cool grabs and all, like, you could just jump normally like everyone. No, 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 he goes for the cool way, for the highlights. And look at this grab. Defense coming so close, but just jumping and rising in the air. What a catch, flying man.
Well, of course, this Belgian side is missing one of their sort of Yonkers attackers. Of course, Ref with that knee injury in windmill. To get another look at that sensational grab from Toby Dekana.
Yes, unfortunately, the Belgian team is missing some players. There's also Arthur Feller, who had to drop out in the middle of the competition due to knee injury. Nico Oke also sickness. What? So sad to miss a game due to sickness. Damn you, Limerick weather.
Well, an initial miscue from the Germans. Are they going to give that break almost straight back? Curiouser and curiouser this big game becomes. Verreken with this in hand fakes that hammer over the top, the around break. Demarais has a think about it, trying to direct traffic. There's someone just stood at the back of the end zone, doesn't go for that blade over the top because of course these pesky Limerick conditions keeping things interesting, making the humidity come through instead. Van den Broek. Again, bit messy this point for the Belgian D-line.
That was so unexpected. I was casually talking, didn't think a turnover would occur at this moment. Belgium again with a break opportunity, so close to it.
Well,
and to it.
Up line cut for Dan Demarais, and that is the break right back, folks. 7-5, the Belgians with the 2-point lead. As you say, Charlotte, we get caught on it sometimes. At this elite level, we expect those first couple of passes are going to be linked together, absolutely no problem. When we were speaking to the French mixed coaches, I've been asking a question of the teams out here and saying, if I gave you a magic wand, I love the magic wand experiment, because it doesn't follow the rules of reality, but basically you give them a magic wand and you say, if you could control one part of your offense or your defense, what would it be? And the French mixed coaches said, we don't want to have any mistakes in the first couple of passes, because that really does give your defense such an advantage mentally and literally being so close to the goal line. A timeout being called on the field though. We're going to take a super quick break. Do not go anywhere. This semi-final heating up here. Germany behind, but the Belgians in the lead. 7-5. Are involved there looking a little bit unsettled, which is just from the body language. It's still relaxed, but that's, I mean, he's not a particularly expressive player. Nothing seems to cause him any friction, but probably the glummest I've seen him so far this championship, and deservedly so. The Belgians getting 3 breaks of score against Germany open. Germans responded with 1 break to take us back to level 5-5. But at the moment, The Belgians with their hands on the steering wheel in this open semi-final here at the European Ultimate Championships 2023. A rolling pull will be brought back in by...
Do you hear the train, the brake train on? I love that call.
They don't need too many more if they can continue to hold on to their offense, Charlotte. Dosha on the far sideline, picked off from the air by the number 31, Ben Verreken. He throws to the goal. Immediately another break for Team Belgium. That's half 8-5. Holy moly. This is a statement piece from Belgium right now, Charlotte.
Belgium had definitely got into the Germans' mind. These kind of mistakes, like not seeing the poach, miscommunication between players, so close to their own end zone. What?
Well, silver medalists back in 2019. Team Germany were the bridesmaids. And they have learned some lessons for that. They have such experience on their roster, some young athletes too. They are going to come out into this second half all guns blazing, I am sure. They have the maturity and the IQ to do it in terms of their Frisbee. But we're going to have to wait to see what happens, folks. We're going to go to some ads, but don't go anywhere. The excitement is real. Belgium leading at halftime, 8-5 over Germany.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my God! Somehow they do it!
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Half-time open semi-finals for your delectation and delight. If you're a Belgian fan, of course, at the moment, looking at the stats of this game, Charlotte, the break train is a rolling on the tracks for the Belgians. 4 for 6. The Germans have used the one opportunity given, 100% conversion, but just the Belgian O-line denying them every opportunity.
I mean, we see that almost all offensive holds from Belgium were clean holds, only one miss, and that was the break one, as you're saying. Germany really managed to use these opportunities, but they just cannot turn this disc over as much as needed. This Belgium O-line is really doing an amazing job keeping the disc safe, using the best options possible, and just make it work, even when it's not, the outcome is not the outcome, but the execution is not perfect. They still manage to make it work. Great athletes, great connections. I mean, great team.
Let's talk about some of these Germany turnovers, or should we really call them Belgian blocks? There have been throwing some, there was a miscommunication early stages, which is heartbreaking for the Germans. As you say, you see them out here on our pole cam shots, just trying to recenter themselves, focus, get lots of touches of the disc. But it's been the mines that have been the issue for the Germans. I don't think it's the execution of their throws. They're just not finding the right options.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I mean, this team is also amazing. We're still in semifinals. It's not anyone who can reach this stage. And we know Team Germany is very strong, also great athletes, but indeed it's just this mental part here where Belgium are taking over while Germany is maybe losing a bit of focus, which is definitely retrievable during a halftime. It is exactly the moment you need to take a deep breath and get back to the focus, to aim at what is important, what you should think about, what are the important points to keep in mind while playing, and probably that the coach has given or will give that kind of speech.
Well, speaking of coaches, you saw ultimate doggo royalty, Russ the corgi. Russell, of course, up there on the hill. Of course, I mean, I think that is Royal Russ anyway. But of course, the doggo of two wonderful minds for ultimate, Fiona Myrna, and of course the lovely Ian French. Frenchy as he's known. And those people are definitely minds that could tell you what this German side need to do to come back in this game. I think it is just mentally refocusing. But we talked to the coaches ahead of this match, Charlotte, and certainly I think the one thing that Pierre-Alain Delamine wanted to fix in sort of stone for his team was to be in the zone mentally on the counter-attack when they got defensive blocks. And thus far, 4 for 6, they have really been achieving that goal. I think the Germans are not doing what their coaches asked of them, which is staying in the moment and enjoying their offense. They are maybe a little bit unsettled, a bit frustrated. We're starting to see under the hot pressure of this Belgian person coverage. We've not seen any zone from either team. I mean, you'd be a fool to play a zone against the Belgians with so many moon catchers on their roster, frankly, especially in this calm condition.
I actually hope there will. I want to see the upside fly. Those scoovers, I'm sure. Oh, now that you've spoken about it.
Well, we've said it. I don't think it's a coaching selection we'll see, though. These German coaches, of course, they've been doing a wonderful job of connecting their leadership across the divisions, across the age ranges. It's one of the things to look out for in the future for the Germans. But Yonkers will bring us into the brick mark, starting on offense in the second half. So buy one, get one free, or should we say buy 3, get 1 free? How many more points is this Belgian side gonna punch in? Van der Vega going for a racy, spicy one. Ooh. Lucked out just about by the fingertips of Ben Yonkers. Up line to De Mulinare. Just looking across. Yonkers with a big ripper backhand. That's going to sink high into the sky and just missed on the back corner.
Just a bit too far, despite of the big jump. That was unreachable.
Well, I don't know. It looked like it pinged off of the fingertips, and if you can touch it, you can catch it, right?
Toucher, c'est catcher, as we say in French. Oh, I love this matchup, though.
Look at the height.
Jonathan Tobe. Oh, he did have a hand, but would have landed out of bounds. We've actually already seen this matchup during the final of, what was it, Frankfurt? No, which tournament?
Frankfurt.
This day Cologne. It was Köln. Here you go. The Jonathan Tobe matchup. Have a look at this because it is delightful. So many air fights.
Well, Herken's wearing Kuhn's shirt because he accidentally traded away his jersey at under-24s, getting a bit too excited, thinking, oh, I like that stash. Getting, of course, his senior representation.
Oops, I forgot I have another championship to play.
He's just that good, folks. So a lead is going to be run down by Charles into Herkens. The counter-attack, so important to try and change the momentum for the Germans. Sam Beutenmüller pulling some double duty, coming across to play on this D-line. Pick. Schlur. Umlaut over the O. Demarais tapping us back in. closing off that break side space. I think it must be some kind of forced middle. That's going to sit and hang for days. Sam Beutenmuller ripping it out of the air though. And throwing the assist to Bassoff. That's the break back. But 2 versus 4. The Belgians still large and in charge. But that is the response we expected from this mature German side.
Exactly. We were saying that it is perfect for Germany to have this halftime to get their mind focused back on the game, on what is important, and they definitely did. Starting the second half with a break, what better way?
So part 1 of the German game plan in this second half has gone very well for you.
I have to say, I hope that Germany will break again a few points just to have that tighter game, more exciting for the fans, for everyone watching, and for ourselves.
Absolutely, Charlotte. We have zero bias in the booth. We love all the athletes out here.
Zero.
As Jonathan Shaw. I'm really enjoying the water bottle game across the Team Germany players in every division, at every age level. We saw the under-24 team when they won that bronze medal at Worlds back in Nottingham, thanking their coaches by squirting them repeatedly with their water bottles. And Jonathan Schall just getting excited there, enjoying the scenes for the cameras. Of course, the Schall family playing in the open division together. Charlotte disappearing into the women's division to go do damage. The key part of that German women O-line now that they suffered that injury to Gerner. Focusing back on this open division. Van der Vega, disc in hand, looking for an opportunity. Big old poach in the centre field. Now they do indeed swing it across and make the most of it. Davala back across. Is this a zone, Charlotte?
Did I dare to put up a zone? And
they did.
Oh yeah, Jonker is here on the line for the Scoobers. I hope we'll see one. Come on, do what you do. No! Just a backhand.
But no, says Jonathan Meyer bottling. And Jonathan Schall with his water bottle going absolutely ballistic right on the sideline. Get behind the athlete line, son.
I mean, maybe that Jonathan Meyer bottling will have less responsibility on this team, but he's still an incredible player. Look at this defense he just got for his team. Oh my. Casually stepping in front, like, excuse me, that is mine. I want more breaks.
Oh, another call on the field. That one has to be caught though, because the retraction of the pick. The rest of the stack not happy about that at all. Jonathan Meyer-Bottling said, I called a violation, but I'm not sure I agree with bringing that one back necessarily, Charlotte. It did look like they'd committed to the play, and that was just an off throw.
I do agree. Technically, that should be turnover. Maybe Germans are a bit frustrated, thinking that they could have had a bit on that one too, if not stopping due to the peak call. I know they are fast, but that was a really fast one. Even Schloer couldn't have a hand on it. I don't know how someone from the opposite side could get that one. Look at this.
Yeah, he had the yards, he had the attack. The technicality of the rules is that the violation is a stoppage, but excellent spirit, as we expect in this game. After the discussion, that one will indeed be a turnover. Not much more you can ask for the receiver on that one. It was just a bit burned on the edges, spent too long in the oven. So, back in the offense's hands for the Belgians. And we said we wouldn't favour putting a zone on against this Belgian side. It's more poaching than a zone, perhaps. But it's really beautifully spaced. The Germans forcing the Belgians to go over the top. It's a big run down. Felix Martin trying to get up in the pack. Jonathan Meyer-Bottling, a foot race in the back corner. That's a goal for Toby de Kana. ankle-breaking movement from the Belgians. From the goal line, the hand of de Marais. And that's going to be 5 stats now for the number 10 from Belgium.
5 out of 9. And we saw some fake hugs, and Demolenaar not hesitating a second to shoot it. I was wondering what is going on, and when you see De Mare and De Crun as receivers on the end zone, I mean, okay, makes sense. No question about this. Just huck it and see who of the two players will get it. Well, it was first De Mare with the hand on it, and Tobe De Crun for the goal. Getting that hold. Germany so close to get a second break straight away from at the start of this second half. Would have been fun to see that. Belgium finishing the first half with 2 breaks in a row, and Germany starting with 2 breaks on their own. However, they retrieved it. Belgium retrieved it and got that score.
So 2 breaks for the Germans, 4 for the Belgians. This a must hold for the shirts in white. Samuel Boyton-Müller on the far sideline. A little bit of hesitation for the underneath Grunwald, but all fair and fine. Holger Boyton-Müller now. It's a little lamb chop. Underneath now, Stefan Dosche coming through. Of course, has been so dominant in the deep space for the Germans and racing towards that front cone, but not quite in bounds. Nico Müller. If you're going to have the disc in anyone's hands, it's a good option and a beautiful shot taken. A high release into Samuel Boyton-Müller, and the Germans cling on in this match. 9-7. That 2.2 break lead for the Belgians. Of course, this was the Germans to give up. They started on offense, Charlotte.
Yes, it is their hold, and I was just looking at the replays because I'm so impressed of how the Germans managed to play and keep moving forward, stuck on this sideline. Like, how did they do that? Keep going up line only. This is the only option they have. They don't seem to be looking for that swing. I don't know how they do it.
Well, the Belgian match coverage is really good at pressuring that handless space and stopping, preventing the agility. You know, that probably age for age, the D-line of the Belgians and the O-line of the Germans. There's a bit more youth in the legs of the players in red. If I'm going to go for average ages, of course, you do have wonderful work. It's nice to see Nico Müller back to form in the open division. Of course, all of these Team Germany athletes from the World Games had so much to do last season. Of course, Bad Skid suffered a little bit in domestic championships back home in Germany. But I think you just grind down that line. The flexibility, Stefan Dosche coming underneath, the Hashische Erdferkel player. Of course, now I believe playing for Bad Skid in the club division. But certainly you've got the players who are being given the space, being pushed underneath enough that they can just grind out those points. But the Belgians being contained effectively themselves. Swinging up line, a little bit of a gainer. Yonkers going to need a reset soon. Finds one. De Marais in the central position. Underneath Deval. Dan De Marais again taking the match up with Conrad Schlur, of course, the man who occasionally goes across the pond to play for Pony New York fame. That's a shot with a lot of air underneath it and great position for Paul Herkens, but De Molinare says he caught too much of his hand on the way through. They're going to watch the replay, so they'll trot back over to us in the booth.
A lot of noise from the sideline. Apparently not very happy with that call on the German side. The Germans are not happy about that.
Well, let's watch it back, shall we, Charlotte? Oh, I like that look over the shoulder from Herkens. Smart defense. Oh. They're asking for another replay. It's a really close one, isn't it? The frame by frame. No one's listening to us and asking if we're asking if it's a strip call or a foul call. But very, very close. Lots of players, lots of feelings about
I actually
this
have
one.
no idea what he's calling. To me, it feels like a drop or a defense from the Germans. Feels like Paul Harkins had position and just was there before and gave hard work to Pieter-Jan de Molenaar. I'm really struggling with his name, I'm sorry. But
It's a tricky one. Pieter-Jan de Molenaar, I think.
Anyway, like, gave him a hard work to get a hand on that one, and it's just a fair defense.
So an accepted,
It is.
no, sorry, retracted foul even. There we go. An accepted discussion that Paul Harkins had phenomenal position, which he absolutely did. Pieter-Jan de Molenaar, of course, PJ is a tall athlete to try and best, especially in the air. He's just been so good for so long, of course, coming through the juniors program. Played the same World Championship that I did back in 2010 in Heilbronn, alongside many, many, many others. So, Charles in the centre pocket has Felix Martin, the Brit with a German passport, not suffering as much as the rest of us from Brexit. At number 5 with Germany open. He receives the list now. A stutter step for the slowdown. Harkins now. He'll not be satisfied with another bronze to add to his medal collection, but that's going to be taken away over the back. Oh, I tell you what, I did not see Kenichiro Sennefelder at the back corner, but he comes through for his side. Do you think that was the intended receiver, Charlotte? Because I don't.
Absolutely not. I mean, Sennefelder just popped out of nowhere to get that second attempt on that lady outside. What a risky throw. I don't know why they threw that, but as long as there are teammates there to get that one.
Well, trying to throw open does Paul Harkins, but that does indeed do the business for another German break. They now trail by 1 break.
Actually, when we're looking at the replay, maybe that Sennefelder was the target.
I'm going to stick with no. I think that was a lovely shot to a portion of the end zone where none of the defenders was positioned to make a bid. But regardless, it doesn't matter who he was trying to throw to because it worked.
They got a break. Second break for Germany on this second half.
Well, the Germans fighting to stay alive. The Belgians in front of our booth a little unhappy with themselves, but they are still up in this game. It still could happen. A couple more holds for them on offense, and they are going to sail through with a 1-point margin. But I'd rather see this one go all the way down to universe, because we don't care who wins and goes into the gold medal match, because...
No, we do.
Well, no, we don't
No,
care
we don't.
who. We just want to find out, folks. We just want to find out. Jonkers, disc in hand, has a big poach off on the far side for Van der Vega, who's wearing his gentle shorts, not Team Belgium shorts. Someone call the kit rules committee. A little bit of repping for his club side. Of course, Gentle has the biggest of the current youth programs back home.
So Germany is trying another type of defense here with a wall, kind of wall for the handlers.
Yeah, it's a zone, all right. I mean, they have enough personnel. I do actually, now that we're seeing a bit of German zone, I kind of like it. But that is the escape to the deep space. Dan de Marais just sitting on that back shoulder, biding his time, awaiting the opportunity. And that, folks, is why you don't play zone against the Belgians, perhaps, because they have the confidence and they have the execution. Ben Jonkers doing what he loves to do best. And that, I think, is actually a key for this game, Charlotte. We are seeing some of the Belgians' traditional looks come off with honey smooth execution.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty obvious, and I mean, you see it on the pitch how this happened. As soon as Benjamin Jonkers got that swing pass, Demare was already ready for that deep cut. He knew exactly what his teammate would do, and obviously it is what he did. I mean, almost everyone on the pitch knew it, that Jonker will just go with that big hug for his teammate. Call it almost an easy pass when you know that that is what they do, used to that, and showing it for the semis. Applying it to get their pass for finals. Let's see if this will be enough or Germany will step up.
Well, it's all about stepping up to the hockey for the first showdown as the points go past. Samuel Beutenmüller on the far sideline has a big poach off to exploit for Harvey Greenwald. And it's going to be a layout required to secure possession for Nico Müller, but of course he does it with aplomb. Inside to Holger Beutenmüller, who is now back on the field once more. Stefan Doscher with the easy toss. All quiet on this German O-line, waiting for their opportunities to strike. Doscher has an easy one-up line for Samuel Beutenmüller. You'll notice the players jumping to secure possession for every disc that's thrown in their vicinity. A dad backhand just getting to Nico Müller. He has a think about the lean back and release, throws over the shoulder of the mark, and Greenwald just about holds on. That's got a lot of air under it, and sneaking through cleanly again is Mathieu Müller. That's his second big defensive run through in this game. He streaks away to the deep space once more, but tapers off as he comes towards the stack. This time is Sofiane Bonton in the end zone, looking at the pack. It goes over everybody and 6 into the hands of the trash collector at the back. Müller with the bookends for the Belgians. 11-8 now the score, and that is the lead kept in front by 3.
That defense from Müller was amazing. Really, he noticed that space. That is exactly when he can accelerate and get a hand for the block on that disc. However, I really want to have another look at this air fight because this is thrilling. Great defense. And no options. Demare goes for the big hug. And look at this. Really thought that would be an air fight between Bonton and the two German defender, but no, Müller just waiting in the back to get that disc for another break for Team Belgium with the lead 11-8. What is happening?
I honestly have no idea, Charlotte. This is not the fight that we expected the Germans to put up in this semi-final. There's daylight between these two teams. Yes. Daylight we did not expect. It's coming through the clouds. Conditions are starting to cheer up. It's perfect for a game of Ultimate. It is cool. It is gently windy. It is currently dry. The fields underfoot are soft and supple. Come on, Germany, get yourselves back in this match. But right now, the Germans are being a little bit loose. That one again, lots of air underneath it. 2 flying defender, but nothing can stop the man himself. Holger Beutenmüller holding on and putting an easy pass into Greenwald. He had some errors in the early stages of this match, Charlotte, but he is now back in full flying form.
Apparently, the rule now for this game for all the air fights is don't jump, just wait in the back, because apparently everyone jumping is just missing on this disc. Just wait in the back that everyone missed the disc and get it, chill afterwards.
Just chill, bro.
Just chill. Why so much stress? I mean, semis? Qualifying for finals?
Oh, dear. Well, I feel like I want to do some sort of lyric replacement with jump, jump, jump.
Wait.
Well, fellas, leave your D's at home. This game is full of ballers. And I can't even remember that. Anyway. We'll do that later on Late Night Live. We will come together with some kind of lyric replacement. But either way, this game is getting us all very, very excited here in the booth. And we hope you are also enjoying this coverage yourself. Get in the live chat. Tell us where you are coming from, who you are rooting for. bang that like button, hit the bell so you don't miss a game as we bring you these championships live, wild and free, and what a wild one this is. Felix Martin unable to capitalise on the miscue there, redeemed instead by Yonkers. Demarais striking, prowling around in the deep space once again, catching all the big matchups. A switch off now, Herkins on Demarais. PJ opens up a cannon backhand. Toby DeCana underneath it. Toby DeCana for the goal. Those two love each other so well. DeCana on his player survey for the World Championships said that Peter Jan de Molinare was one of his favourite sporting heroes. Admires his discipline. And that was a beautiful connection, almost the full stretch of the field.
It's impressive that Tobe admires someone for their discipline, knowing his own discipline of life, practicing, eating, sleeping, everything needed. Like, just follow the guy and you'll understand like how much commitment he puts in his life for Ultimate, and you see the results of it. Amazing game from Tobe de Craan. He also adjusted his run. He was definitely not the best position player for this shot and managed to keep speeding up to go cut that run and get a hand on this catch disc. Another stat for Tobe, who's already leading the Belgium stats.
Well, no surprise there. He led the entire division for stats for goals at the World Ultimate Club Championships back in 2022. So, the chew, rising from the sideline, and it's another run-through snaffle for the Belgians, giving and going. Muller and Demarais on the far sideline, now on the goal line of their next break, but it's a hand block that may be called back on a foul. Muller saying that Holger got a bit too much on the hand. Let's have a look.
Yeah, that's very close.
I don't think he'd opened. You know, that's a very early in the throwing motion, to be fair. One more replay. Players of all shirt colours in front of our VA booth. Of course, they can only give a perspective if it harms their own team. So it was very early in the release, and indeed on the field they played right on. We got distracted by our replay. That one will indeed be a goal, and another break for the Belgians. 39. Well, we talked about Tobe de Craan, how he eats, trains, sleeps, repeat, but at the moment it's the Germans who still had their heads on the pillow. During the first half, they conceded 4 breaks. In this second half, conceded 2 breaks. It's just, oh my goodness.
I mean, we're back at it. The Germans are lowering their mental game. They are doing mistakes. Look at this throw. No doubt Demarais is well positioned and anticipated what is going to happen, but the thrower should also see the Belgian players in position and not throw that kind of throws. We know they know this kind of game. They are used to play this high level and know that poachers like that happen, especially because it's not the first one of this game. So really, I think the focus is missing again on the German part, who retrieved it after the half, but now again, maybe tired, maybe a lot of things can impact that. Just get back on track. This is Summies. You want to go to finals and you want to give us a show. We want a universe point. Come on, we're getting away from that.
Oh, I don't mind it with the blocks that are coming from this game though, Charlotte. At the end of the day, if you can do it like this, there have been some contested calls so far in this match, as you would expect, as all these teams try and stay alive, but oh my goodness. Tell you what, Nico Müller just absolutely racing to the deep space. Such a powerful athlete. Can he get the disc back into his hands? Schlora coming across and playing a power line, and it works out for the Germans. Doscher on the front cone. A nice, easy hold after Nico Müller reminded us all he's not just an elite thrower, he can receive in the deep space perfectly well too. Nightmare matchup to take.
And a nice hold. Again, I hope this will help the Germans mentally to get back and give some fire to the D-line to try stop this very efficient offense from Belgium. And they are preparing their defense since they're called a timeout. It is very important at this stage of the game to really set a perfect plan of what to do, what to stop, which options you want to shut down on the Belgian side. You cannot shut down everything, but choose wisely what is the most important one.
If I were coaching, I would say push the Belgians under. Put big flat forces on them. Stop them from throwing these shots, especially when you get turned. To get the disc back at the moment, some of these big shots, the counter attacks, the confidence that the D-line is playing with is real and very apparent. The pass tallies have not been high during this second half, really. There's been 1 point that took 16 passes, one of the breaks took 10, but everything else has been single digits for the majority of these O-line holds. If you can find a way to interrupt the deep shots, look at the total pass counts here. Belgium 125, Germany 123. They like the quick ones too, but certainly everyone rising up in this game. Our defensive most valuable player has to be so far Matthew Müller, who's only on our stats line got the 1 block, but he's definitely got more than that. Our stats keepers, of course, doing real hard work. Just the one human hero on the stats dice.
We definitely saw 2 clear blocks from Müller.
We'll have to add it on in post. He's really risen to the challenge, and 3 goals, of course, being so devilish on the breaks. But a power line on defense for the Germans. Jonathan Meyer-Bottling, Nico Müller, Doscher, Charles, of course, the D-line handler. And that is that Holger or Samuel Boyton? Samuel Boyton, Müller, Schlor, and is that our full 7? I don't know, but a pull just out of bounds. So Nico Müller, maybe it's been a while since Müller's thrown too many pulls, of course, though it was a very short roster, of course, that 14-player World Games setup, so I'm sure he had to play some D-line points. And there's our final 7th player, wearing the number 5, Felix Martin, for this power D-line for the Germans as they have to try and grind their way back into this match. Van der Vega, the 2 Van der Vegas on this side. Arthur, and of course, Aaron de Marais. Oh, the speed with which that player fakes is insane, unreal. Yonkers now. Everybody clustered, hanging out in the end zone. Gonna need some resets.
No options to be seen. Maybe the good option is an upside. Still haven't had that one. I'm still waiting for this one to come.
So fakes off the original one, inside to de Marais. Of course, they try and keep him out of the end zone as much as humanly possible. A soft over the top would do it. It's going to be a high release that just about escapes the hands of Stefan Doscher. And we are going to our first match point of 5.
Doscher so close to have that one. I really thought it was going straight to his hand. Let's have a replay, maybe another angle to... With this angle, we'll see better how this disc flew. Oh, yeah, that was in his back. Hard to turn around for this one, but Tobe didn't hesitate and turned around to get the grab for a hold. This is a hold, actually, for Belgium, going 14-10.
But that's our first of 5 match points, Charlotte. This could indeed be a comeback for the ages, but I have to say I currently favour the Belgians. Ben Yonkers there, enjoying the scenes on the sidelines. Let's talk journey into this match. We haven't really done enough of that, Charlotte, because it's been spicy from the start. The Germans have not been defeated yet in this championship. We had the universe loss for Team Belgium. Maybe made them a little bit hungrier, a bit more fired up. Close wins over the Czech Republic, 15-13 and 15-11. They got pushed by the Danes when they fell asleep in the second half. But this is for the first break, and what an amazing pull right in the back of their own territory are the German O-line. A beautiful escape to the deep space. Greenwald, all the way around the world, clutching with the clap catch. Sam Boytenmüller to keep us alive here in semi-finals for the Open Division. That one, a laser high between the two Wall City men. Dosha now coming through. He's missed it completely. Doesn't even have a second opportunity. The wind just swelled up and pushed the disc down.
That is so unfortunate. You cannot do anything. This is the wind. This is a game point.
Landa de Krana having a look around the mark, throws the inside shot through. Oczynski to Van den Broek. Such a casual one-hand grab. The confidence for this Belgian side is so real. Oczynski sneaking free just about and calls the timeout. I hate that idea, but at the end of the day, when you've got 5 match points in the bank, why the heck not?
Yeah, we want to finish it as soon as possible.
Well, we will get back in action as soon as possible. Don't go anywhere, folks. Match point here for the Belgians. Can they bring it in after this timeout? Let's find out. Absolute fire here. The German sideline trying to generate some energy for the 7 on the field, fighting to stay alive here.
This is definitely what they need. It is all mental, but this sideline should have waken up earlier to help them. It is not now when Belgium is 1 point away from winning and qualifying to the finals that you should wake up, but earlier in the stage of the game.
Well, it's not tight here at all. The Belgians have 5 match points. The chat, Boris van der Luk saying, full field hammer, anybody? Benjamin Yonkers on the far sideline, just crouching down alongside his brother Ref, who of course is not able to play once again for the Belgians due to that injury. But disc in hand, a first shot. Dan de Marais, is this going to be to get into the gold medal match? It certainly is. Once more, the defense goes up early, and once more, they are not rewarded for it. The Belgians, critical lead. Goodness, 15-10. Did you expect that, Charlotte? Because I sure didn't.
No, I thought we would have such a tighter game. But I really like that the last point of this game showed what every air fight has been so far. Don't jump, wait for the disc. And again, that is what worked out for Belgium to get that last point and qualifying for finals of EUC 2023. 15-10.
That's just a statement game, an absolute statement game. They only had the one loss that left a little bit of salt in the wound from Great Britain, who are still fighting on the other show field. But the Germans, having only been pushed in 3 of their matches, may be coming in a little bit overconfident in this matchup. It was all about those loose throws that the Belgians picked off again and again. Could not reclaim this one, did Stefan Dosha. He tried, but did not explode to stay alive. A first pass after the timeout taken. Well, that wasn't a turnover, was it, folks? At the end of the day, Dan de Marais finishing us off. I didn't even realise that wasn't in to begin with, but Landa de Kana celebrating emphatically, and I mean, wow, just wow. We are so pleased to have brought you this coverage, of course, live, wild and free here on our live stream. Stats leader, as always, Dan de Marais. Goodness gracious. Talk us through a little bit about the Germans. What did they do well, Charlotte?
They did have amazing hugs. We've seen some really great defenses from, obviously, Jonathan Meyer-Bottling. Not surprised to see him step up and have great actions. But also a lot of blocks actually on the German side. We have also Philipp K with 2 blocks on his own, Konrad Schleur as well with a defense, and Paul Herkens with another defense. They did do blocks, managed to have this, just didn't convert all of them into actual breaks.
I think the biggest thing for me actually, Charlotte, so we obviously have our turnover counts, 10 and 6 there, but really that is indeed so visual on our full stats of this game. There was 1 turnover proper for the Belgians. Everything else was a block. The 1 turnover thrown by Ben Jonkers, of course, big distributor. When you take on those shots, you really do come unstuck every so often. But there were, let's have a quick count up for my mental mathematics. So 7 sort of proper errors, as we'd call them, in this game for the Germans. So the pressure applied the whole time for the Belgians. We're going to take a little sit down here in our booth, joined by the wonderful Mathieu Müller.
Hello.
Congratulations, sir. No one managed it so far in the tournament. How did you demolish the Germans?
Well, I think we had a great coaching. We had a great team meetings to analyze their play, and so we were very well prepared. We know what to do and how to get them.
Well, it really did feel that way. How was the emotion when you got that first run-through pick-off? Because it was you who I think took the first charge, streaking through, and then obviously immediately going into the end zone and getting the bookends.
It's quite an emotion. It's really cool because the game is really tense. Everything can happen, but having this first break mentally, it's really getting up. The team was. I mean, it's amazing. You feel that there's a switch in the game, that everything is possible, and that you can make it actually. And that's really great to take the whole team with you, and to get this game.
Absolutely. So, what was it like then coming out into the second half? That first break that the Germans got. Obviously, you're more playing on the D-line side of things, but do you know what was said to the offense to try and kind of calm the ship down? Because there weren't that many overheads, despite the fact that there isn't much wind today.
No, but offense plays great. We have total confidence in them. However, they always have 1 or 2 breaks in the game. We know that. So on the defense line, on the sideline, we know that we will have to work a bit harder after that. But that's not an issue for us. We like it. It's a bit more pressure. So we're totally fine on defense. We know that the game will be tight. Will be even more exciting. And we trust offense. We know that they can have some glitch, but at the end they score it. So no, it's under control.
Well, to quote Billie Jean King, pressure is a privilege.
Definitely.
Obviously, we don't know who your opponents will be in the finals tomorrow, but what does it mean to the sort of senior players who, having watched the under-24s a couple of weeks ago, to now be going yourselves with alongside those counterparts into another final?
It's a really great feeling. We are really excited to play this. I mean, I think it's one of the first shots we have as Belgium to go in such a finals at Europe stage. So we're really excited. We really want to make it. We want to write history. Today is actually the Belgian National Day, 21 of July. So that's our day. It's not Belgium Day, so we know we won't win it. So let's hope that tomorrow we'll do the same.
Well, it really does seem to be the Belgian Day. Of course, you're a chocolate manufacturer by trade, cooking up a storm here on defense. So in terms of what it's been like for you, because we don't get to speak to you, Mathieu, too much about, your performances with Moon, etc. But what's it been like kind of, for the past couple of years as the programs in Belgium have really come to strength?
Yeah, definitely. I think Mooncatcher is a big part of it. I think Pierre, the coach, is really building something. We have a very good youth also in Belgium. A very good generation, working hard through the whole year to make this happen. So it's a lot of work behind that. And I'm very happy to be on this team, to be part of it.
Very nice. Well, are there any of the young players back home for the Mooncatchers that you'd like to shout out here on the stream and say hello to?
I can say hello to Jonas, really a nice Mooncatchers. He's just starting now, but I think that in a few years it will be quite a good one. So shoot out for him, keep going, and you will make it one day. I'm for sure for that.
Well, I'm sure all of the performances you put on, especially today's game, will inspire your youth to great success in the future. Congratulations again, Matthew.
Thanks a
Have
lot.
a lovely evening of rest, and we will see you tomorrow.
Definitely.
For the
I
gold
think
medal
we'll
match.
miss a party. That's really a shame.
What's
but
the
we-
party? Oh, you're sad to miss the
tonight.
party.
We
Yeah.
need to miss it, but we will catch up tomorrow, so that should be fine.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we'll be there. We have to work tomorrow as well.
Oh,
So
cool.
tomorrow's the real party, man.
Perfect then. Let's
All
wait tomorrow.
Congratulations. We'll see you.
Thanks a lot.
Wonderful interview there with Matthew Miller, the man from Brussels. Well, that will wrap us up for this semi-final. I do believe the other is still ongoing. There's a little bit of air developing in that match, the scoreline, but what a performance that was for the team from Belgium.
I want to say that Coach Pea is bringing another team to finals.
He is. That is an unbroken record so far for Pierre-Alain Delamine. And as we said, if you want to know a little bit more about the backgrounds of these Belgian Ultimate players, we have a long-form interview that will be released later on tonight to wet your whistle for the gold medal match tomorrow. We don't know who the opponents will be yet. You can bounce over to the other stream to find out that. But for me, Hannah Pendlebury, for Charlotte Terrason, for all of our tireless ULTI.TV crew, bringing you this European Ultimate Championships in 2023 live, wild and free. That'll wrap us up here in Open semi-finals, but we'll see you for the bronze medal matches.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.